You've reached option 4, the amateur genealogist. Okay, this is it. This is our last one. So in this one, very different from the others. In fact, you will not be creating anything with your journal, like you're not turning anything with your journal at all. Instead, what you're going to do for option 4 is you're going to create a fake family history, like story, okay, with a fake family history or family tree. All right, so you will turn in some writing element, and you will also turn in some kind of a family tree, something that's created on a computer or done by hand. Okay, again, you do not need to turn in an artifact or a 500-year-old looking journal. That's not what this one's going to be about. All right, this one's going to be about you having the opportunity to completely make up an entire history for your so-called make-believe family. All right, you're going to start with an ancestor of yours who happens to be you in the Explorer simulation. Get it? Okay, and they kept this journal. That's your group's journal. And what's going to happen is that journal is going to be handed down over time. Remember, the Explorer sim took place in 1499. Okay? And so over time, through your fake family history, certain people in your family have received that journal over time. Okay, get it? Now, what you have to do, what you're going to do with this is clearly you're going to be like making up names and dates and locations of these people. Okay? You got to be careful. Look at other family trees. If you've never been to 23Me or Ancestry.com, you can look at some of those family, or just do a little research and see what they look like online. Okay, look up some images of family trees. Dates overlap, right? It's not like my date of like when I was born in 1969 like just ended when my son was born in 2011. Okay, they overlap. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Otherwise, that would look kind of weird on your family history. It'd be like handing the journal to a baby every time, right? So, what's going to happen is each time a family member receives the journal, they should be talking about how maybe it impacted their life in some way. Okay. Again, this is if I give you examples of that, we're going to have people that just take that example and they don't really try to think of something unique, interesting, um, different on their own. Okay, you got to be a really big storyteller here because over time, I mean, think about it. 500 years ago till today is probably dozens of ancestors. Okay, each one having some kind of an experience or being affected by the journal over time, and then adding to it. So like a certain son could talk about how they got it from maybe their mom or maybe a dad, and they're just kind of adding and telling how it affected their life. Again, you can be really creative here on this thing. All right, how it affected people. All right. Of course, the ancestors, as you go through time, all the way to modern day, with it ending with you, the real you, uh, you can reference things in the journal that people may have read or thought about, or something happened. Okay? So that is the family history story you turn in. Now, this can be typewritten. You could, I mean, honestly, somebody could just say, like, well, over time, somebody took all the handwritten portions and just turned it into typewritten work. Or, I mean, you can go the extra mile and do things handwritten to then typewritten as things changed over time. Okay? That'd be really cool. That'd be somebody who's really detail oriented and trying to make it look really authentic, right? So, obviously, I love it when you guys are outside the box thinkers and you really put some time into it. I can tell when you guys do. And there were some really good ones with this last year, and then there were some really not so good ones with this last year where people did it at the last moment. It was easy to tell. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You have 4 weeks to do it. It's plenty of time to create some little stories as you go along. And I will meet with you. Whoever decides to do this in each class, I'll meet with people and we'll talk about it starting next week at some point. Okay? But just keep in mind there's two things you're turning in: the story, and that's all the people over time talking about it, and then an actual family tree. Now, this can be something created on a computer like I did. I showed you guys, I think I showed all my classes, my ancestry.com. You can do something that looks like that and just make it up. Or you can do something by hand, or you can make a visual. It's up to you. It's up to you. Okay? All right. Good luck.